Good morning, Johnny Seville from Acorn Wealth Corp here from Smart Money Trading. And I've got a example here on MNRO that I wanted to take you through, which is a really great case study of how we filter through the noise in the market and apply a rule-based framework to looking at setups, trying to strip away the noise and filtering through ideas to decide if they belong on a watch list or a trade idea or not. Now, full disclosure, this is a position that I have taken a position in on Friday, so I do currently hold a stock position in this as of the time of this recording. And let's jump into why I took it. Just a reminder, of course, that while I own a position in this stock, it doesn't mean it's necessarily right for you. This is not a recommendation to buy or sell this stock. It's for educational purposes only, so always speak to a financial advisor before taking any action. But let's go through the framework. So, as I've said in many of my videos, for those of you who've been following us over the last 2 decades, my approach is always structure over guessing. So I don't predict outcomes. I wait for the markets to speak to me, for the charts to show something, to prove something. And then the job of the strategy is to tell us, based on what our strategy's rules are, what the response is. And that's how you stay disciplined, especially in choppy markets. So the first layer here is sector context. So MNRO sits in the consumer cyclical sector, which is one of the areas we've been talking a lot about recently and watching closely as capital gets more selective. That doesn't mean everything in the sector works, or that we just blindly buy any stock in the consumer cyclical sector, but it means I'm willing to look there first, as well as some of the other top sectors that we've highlighted in our January Smart Money report, which you will have the opportunity to get full access to here at the end of the video, if you haven't already. Now, the second layer is the technical structure. So MNRO had been consolidating for a while. You can see that the price movement really ever since May, or even just in general over the last 12 months or so, the stock does tend to chop around quite a bit. So if you're a holder of MNRO, you can expect quite a bit of oscillation, or at least that's been the story of the chart since October last year. You can see it's kind of it oscillates back and forth. There's a lot of froth to the way it moves both up and down. So if one's an investor or a trader of this, you've got to probably be able to have the appetite to withstand drawdown and it being up one day and down the next if you believe that the overall trend is one direction. But clearly it has most recently appears to be oscillating, consolidating in that downward channel. And so the key level for me was looking for that to kind of break out above that $20.70 to $21 zone. And that area represented prior resistance from the little high here that you can see in red, and a breakout, more importantly for me, of the downward channel potential resistance zone. So this is certainly an early stage breakout, and nothing's guaranteed that it'll continue to move up. But the trigger that I was looking for in this trade was a break of what I perceived it to be holding it down in the near term. And so that break above was what triggered me in on Friday. Price broke and held above that zone for now. And so that's the actionable step that my rules suggested I take. Now, the third, if we just zoom in a little bit closer, you can see that even a little bit more clearly. So just bouncing back and forth and then breaking through. So once that breakout happens, the most important thing is risk, right? If price holds above this former resistance, it stays on the radar. The conditions that I was looking for to get in stays valid, and the trade idea stays within the strategy's checked boxes. However, if it falls back below this level and were to break down back beneath support, well then the whole thesis of why I got in would now be faltered, or at least the probabilities now swung back in the other direction, and the idea would come off. So the ideal way that I'm looking to trade here is without emotion, just rules. The third layer here is context. So again, not a prediction, not a guarantee something's going to go up or down, but MNRO has a well-known insider, or in fact a 10% owner. So anyone who owns 10% or more reports to the market when they buy or sell. And so Carl Icahn has recently reportedly purchased roughly about $20 million worth of shares just recently. So, of course, we don't know what he knows. I don't care what he knows. I'm not trying to guess his plan. The way I interpret this, and what I care about, is that there's a significant amount of capital being committed by what one would hope is someone who knows quite a bit about the company and understands its value, and and of course a sophisticated, well-known investor. So this adds context. From here, the next major area of resistance that we see on the charts is around 29. Of course, it may not get there, and if it does, it could go higher. So it's not a fixed target that this is the highest it could go. But it's a key level where I'd expect the stock to have to work harder. So if and when it does get there, that's where we reassess how the strength in the chart is looking, what the indicators are telling us. And if it doesn't, the rules already tell you what to do. So MNRO is just one example of how this framework works. In the January Smart Money report, I walk through all of the sectors that we're watching the closest, the full watch list that we've put together going into the end of last year to prepare for January. So some of the top stocks in those sectors that hit a lot of the ingredients that I've covered in this example, and the key levels that matter. Not predictions, just structure and disciplined rules. So if this way of thinking resonates with you, you can unlock the full January Smart Money report by following the link that I'll hyperlink you to right now. It takes seconds to register and you'll get access immediately. See you on the other side.